Hello, my beautiful friend. Welcome. I hope you're doing well today. My name's Honor, and I'm here today to talk about how we integrate AI into our lives and why it matters to look at it from a moral and ethical point of view. Now, I know there is a absolute ton of information out there, the pros and cons about AI use, and it is overwhelming to say the least, and it can leave us very confused and divided. Today, I want to share a little insight and snippet into why it matters to me and how I am faced with challenges on how to use AI in a way that is ethical and with integrity. And the challenge I'm facing isn't about how I use it, but how we integrate it into our lives and what we accept and what we can reject ultimately in where the future's going with AI. First and foremost, if you're feeling the way I am, you're starting to question what is real anymore. And I'm not talking about the copious amounts of content that's out there, photos, videos, anything artistic, anything even musical. When it is produced easily and quickly with AI and pushed out there for our consumption through what we watch and what we choose to allow, uh, there is so much already out there. It is frustrating to say the least, but I'm actually wanting to talk more about the deceptive ways AI can creep into our lives and how easy it is for even the smallest of businesses to make decisions that can cost us far more than the assumed savings and benefits to the business, but we're losing something far greater for ourselves from a humanitarian point of view. So, the software I use to assist me with my day to day tasks has been terrific. It's called a CRM, and it allows me to post my socials, my content out onto the various channels and to keep up with the high demands of trying to get all of that done on my own when I don't have the opportunity to actually employ someone to do that task for me. Where it has become a real concern for me is we have now seen the release of an AI assistant integrated into this CRM that I'm using. And it has been amazing. It has been a powerful way to help expedite some of the tasks, the admin tasks that I would have to manually do. So it automatically saves me a whole heap of time to be able to focus on what's important, which is the content itself for me to be able to send out and share with everyone. I also do newsletters, which have become a beautiful, almost like a journal of my experiences, my life shares. And the members and the subscribers to this newsletter have quite regularly responded back to me, taking their time out of their day to personally respond to me. With the latest AI integrated updates in my system, it was only recently that I jumped on, saw someone had replied to one of my newsletters, and I jump on and see that the AI has actually produced a ready to go response that I just need to press send on. So when I looked at this response, I can see it had analyzed the newsletter, it had analyzed the person's response, and it had responded back in my tone of voice. Incredible, absolutely incredible. But in that moment, I was just struck at how easy it has become by the press of a button. The things that I'm gaining in that moment of time and speed, and I'm sure that the tool can actually do that automatically if I primed it to just send out automatically without even my involvement. I'm sure its capabilities are there to do so. But in that moment, I can honestly say I was astonished at how far we've come to losing the very thing that keeps us human. I could have chosen to press send, and the person receiving that email would have no idea it was an AI automated response because it was done so well. I can choose as a business owner to ethically and with transparency show that it's an AI response, which I already do, but what benefit does that give me when it comes to responding to an email, a personal email? And how would that have actually felt as the receiver of an email that is just generated with AI, even though it clarifies that it's an AI generated response? So I did the only thing that I know is important to me, and it's important to us as a human species, is take the time to respond to that email personally from me back to them as they have done for me. This is where integrity matters more than ever before. And right now the tools are there to help us, but I truly believe as much as they've been a blessing, they're also a curse. And if we're not careful in the way we integrate these AI tools, that we stand to lose something far more valuable to us as humans. And we need to lose the very foundations of what makes us human before we decide to act, before we decide to rebel against this AI revolution. Now, I have jumped in and looked at some of the more in-depth content around AI and its use, and I can't say it fills me with great confidence in the way that we're adapting and adopting AI at the moment. And sometimes it is pushed upon us. We have no choice, especially when it's businesses that have services to provide that are just trying to get by sometimes, or they're trying to simply stay afloat. But here's where it matters. The way we do anything is the way we do everything. And if we believe strongly in our moral principles of connection, of a future that is actually making the world a better place every single day, then we have to question the tools that we're using and not be sold into the fear of missing out, the FOMO. And I can tell you right now, if I jump into my platform, I'll read out the headline on my own dashboard. Your business is losing, highlighted, losing customers every day. And it's telling me that I need to adopt AI so that every single person that comes across my website, my socials, should be responded to immediately and not with a human agent. It actually has little stats here. Numbers don't lie. I'm reading it as we speak. And it's compared a human agent to an AI agent and the impact on it that it has on revenue. So this is where we have to really stop, look at the way we run our businesses. And I believe that the longest lasting businesses will be the ones that do things ethically, do things with integrity, do things with transparency, do things with authenticity. After all, isn't that what we were meant to be here for? I believe that there is a balance, but we are so far off being at the center of that balance line that it's becoming a race to the bottom. And it's only once we actually have really tipped the scales in the other direction that we're going to realize, maybe too late, that through the sake of convenience, through the sake of time saving, money saving, everything, that the decisions we make today, not just as businesses but as individuals, as to what we support and what we choose to turn our backs on, is going to determine the way we live our lives. So when we say yes to conveniences, yes to faster, yes to better, what are we losing in the process? If you ask me, what I want to see in that table is the impact it has on humanity. But that'll never be there. We need to ask that for ourselves. And as we use these tools, we need to ask, what is the cost? What is the human cost of either integrating it, using it, selling it? Because ultimately the end user has the power. A business will always change to the demand and supply what is being asked for in the market. And when we stop asking for tools that don't actually help us become better as humans, better as a society, then the real power ends up in our hands, each and every single one of us. Some of you might say this is wishful thinking, but at what point do we stop and stand for what is true? And I, for one, choose to conduct my business in that way. If you've already received any kind of correspondence, if you've seen any webinars, you will know I've always been very transparent in what is and isn't AI. And when it comes to these types of tools where we're losing something with regards to connection to another human, I absolutely refuse to play that game. Connection means the world to me. And sometimes we have to disconnect from these tools in order to reconnect with each other. So there's my little piece today. There's such a bigger conversation around this. There is a bigger video to come around this very issue that I believe is facing us as a society, as a global society today. That's what matters to me. Have an amazing day. Know that the buck can stop with you. It just means you have to ask. Ask the questions that matter to you and take action that makes a difference. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Much love. Bye-bye.